Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together. Welcome back to Freaky Fauna Friday. I'm the great and peaceful Mr. E.
And I'm Jay.
And today we're going to talk about probably one of the most dangerous freaky faunas we've ever talked about.
Ooh, dangerous?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's kind of spooky.
Yeah, do you have any guess? I mean, we've talked about animals breaking laws of physics. We've talked about the biggest animals on the planet.
Right, from blue whales to white bellbirds. I don't know. I mean, this could really be anything.
Today's animal is the African hippo.
Ah, a hippo. These are pretty violent creatures.
These are very dangerous animals. So the hippopotamus, or the hippo, is a native to sub-Sahara Africa and is the largest, mostly herbivorous mammal.
Mostly.
The name hippopotamus comes from the ancient Greek word that translates roughly meaning river horse. And the hippo is the third largest mammal on the planet, or land mammal.
Hip-hop?
Right. Number one is elephants. Number two is rhinos.
Aha, okay.
So rhinos do get a little bigger than
hippos.
People get a little confused by that.
It's the horn. That's what puts them over the edge.
Yeah. Oh, by weight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a heavy horn.
Where do these guys live? Rivers, lakes, and mangrove swamps. Anywhere there's water in Africa, they'll probably be there.
Probably, yes.
Sub-Sahara Africa specifically. And Colombia.
Colombia?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
We'll talk about that later.
South America, Colombia.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple hippos over there.
Okay.
How long do you think hippos live?
25 years.
That's a good guess. They're going to average between 40 and 50 years.
Okay, that's pretty good. And
depending on how well they do in that time, some of them may hit 60 and maybe even 65 years old.
Dang, okay. Retirement age.
Mm-hmm. Well, hippos don't get to retire. They just get murdered by each other, and then they die on the riverbank.
Fair enough.
How big are they, size-wise? Normally between 13 and 18 feet on average, and weighing anywhere on average between 1,700 and 3,500 pounds.
Oh, okay. Those big boys.
They get bigger than that. I'm talking about average weights.
Okay, still. Now,
diet. They are mostly herbivorous.
Okay.
In the wild, they're pretty much just going to be eating grass. And occasionally, if they can find fruit, they love fruit.
Like watermelons.
Like in zoos, you see them eating watermelons and stuff like that. But in the wild, they're pretty much going to be, eating grass. They're big grazers. Their color is gray, black, and brownish purple. What kind of predators do they have? Crocodiles, lions, and hyenas are known to prey upon baby hippos when given the opportunity. Adults, if they're in good health, don't have any predators.
Besides themselves.
I mean, that's not really a predator. That's just getting murdered by your competition.
Not true.
But as adults, unless they're really wounded, they really don't have much in the way of worry.
They're too big to bother.
Yeah. And they got a mouth on them that will just ruin whatever gets near them.
That's true, too.
There's a video out there of a juvenile pack of male lions trying to hunt it, like a medium-sized hippo. Mm-hmm. And they're on its back, biting it. And it just is gently running back to the river. And the second it touches any ounce of water, it turns back around and grabs one of their heads and just pops it.
Oh, gosh. Okay, graphic warning.
Hippos. That should have been the warning.
Dangerous.
How fast do you think they can run? Before you answer that, do you think you could outrun a hippo?
Yes.
Okay, how fast do you think they could run?
On land or water?
On land.
9 miles per hour.
That's a really good guess. No, they've been clocked going a little over 30 miles an hour.
Oh, so I can't outrun one.
No.
Dang.
No, so they kill a lot of people in Africa. They're the most dangerous African animal.
But for how long can they sustain that speed?
Long enough to catch you.
Okay, fair enough.
I've seen them run down Jeeps and stuff like that.
Oh, wow, okay.
They can't do it for long periods of time, but when you can run that fast, you don't have to do it very long.
Short bursts of speed.
Especially if you're not expecting a 4-ton animal to come flying out of the river at you.
Right, yeah.
How many species of hippo are there?
7.
There's 2.
Okay.
And their conservation status is vulnerable. So like I said, hippos can be found in lakes, rivers, mangrove swamps. Male hippos are known as bulls, and female hippos are known as cows.
Okay.
And babies are calves.
Okay. Just like our cow counterparts.
Yep. Territorial males control a predetermined stretch of river, which includes a group of anywhere from 5 to 30 females and their young. This group of hippos is known as a...
flock of hippos.
That's a good guess. A bloat.
Oh, a bloat of hippos.
Yes.
I haven't heard that term yet.
So, these guys... And I'll actually let males stay... So, in the dry season, what these males, these big adult territorial males, will pick a section that they know generally doesn't lose water in the drought.
Yeah.
And they'll kind of run it. Males that are subservient, they will let come in. As long as they're not trying to breed their females, and like they have to basically they do like a little bow when they're entering against like the River King area.
Yeah.
And it can go either way. There's plenty of videos if you watch like Blue Planet or any of that stuff where you can see male hippos coming in and it's they're exhausted and dry and they'll just bow and they'll just go. They just want to go sit in their water.
Right.
They don't want to fight. Or you can see some young males come in flying, mouth open, teeth going, and just get rocked.
Wanting to take over that territory.
Yeah, and it depends on how big the main male is. But the main reason, so hippos have a lot of trouble staying cool, and they get sunburnt very easily. So during the hot time of the day, hippos almost always stay in the water or in mud during the dry season to cool off. Hippos are seen near each other to rest, but feeding is done almost exclusively solo, and there are no territories on land.
Okay.
So the territory is just like to the river's edge.
Right.
So once they get out of the water at night,
it's free game.
Yeah, they'll walk. They don't care. They don't hang out with each other. So they're kind of weird. They're halfway between like herding animals and unherding animals.
Right. Yeah. It sounds like it.
The hippos generally graze after dusk when it's cooler. They have a barrel-shaped torso. Their mouth is wide and contains 4 large canine tusks.
Are they feeding on the grass on the land or under the water?
On land.
Okay.
They have bodies that contain very little hair, short column legs, and they can weigh, all males have been recorded at 4,400 pounds, but some have estimated to be well over 5,000. There are 2 separate species of hippo, modern hippopotamus and the pygmy hippo.
Oh, neat. Neat. Pygmy counterpart?
Yeah, which is native to the forests and swamps of West Africa, primarily Liberia and Madagascar. They are declared, I believe, extinct, at least in Madagascar. I don't know if there's any of them left in West Africa.
Okay.
But there are in zoo collections.
Oh, okay. The pygmies you're talking?
Yes.
Okay.
Female hippos gestate for a period of around 8 months, which is very fast for a mammal of their size. It's shorter than humans, which is pretty incredible. Baby hippos they're born very small, though, relatively speaking, between 55 and 100 pounds. They'll be about 4 feet long.
That's funny. That's small.
They must swim to the surface in order to take their first breath. A normal birth rate is a single calf, but twins have been observed in very rare situations.
So they give birth underwater, and that baby has to swim to the surface?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mothers are extremely protective of their calves. And they most time when they are getting ready to give birth, they will leave their pods or their bloats, and they will go find nurseries. And most time it'll be actually 2 or 3 females in a nursery together with their kids.
Raising the kids together.
And they'll take turns watching. So if one female wants to get out and go eat.
Stretch her legs a little.
Yeah, there'll be 2 females there watching all the babies. They have been witnessed baby hippos will engage in play fighting. And this is how they learn to fend for themselves. Like I said, hippos are found all over sub-Saharan Africa. Modern habitats are much smaller, barely a fraction of their original size 400 years ago. This loss of habitat is the reason they are considered vulnerable species. Now you ready for your fun facts?
All right, I'm ready for the freaky facts.
Hippos are the deadliest large land animal on the planet.
Wow, freaky fact number 1.
These guys kill a lot of people.
Yes, that's true.
And they'll chew on you.
Okay.
Now, so how many people a year do you think are averagely killed in Africa?
47. 68.
Higher.
250.
Higher.
500?
Yeah.
500 people?
Average.
Dang.
Just to show you, in 2014, in Niger, a boat was capsized by a single hippo, and the hippo killed 13 people.
Oh my gosh.
It would go back and forth just chomping one and then go swim to another one and chomp another one.
Oh, that's terrible.
Hungry hippos.
Oh, that's where the name came from.
These animals are incredibly aggressive, unpredictable. Their sharp teeth can crush a human or predator to death with relative ease for their body size. Like I said, I've watched one squish a lion's head with its mouth.
Well, you've ever seen them Well, I know you have, but people watching or listening seen him eat the watermelon like whole and just one easy chomp. It just flattens it like it's nothing.
Cantaloupe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They can. I can tell you about some cutesy love stories with hippos later.
Okay.
But one of them did end bad. There are still hippos.
Right. At the end of the day, still wild animals that are gigantic and very deadly.
Prone to aggression.
Yeah.
Next fun fact, hippos love the water. The hippopotamus is a semi-aquatic mammal, which means, though like mammals like humans, dogs, and cats and other similar species, they spend a majority of their life in the water. The historic habitat includes the Nile River. They love the water so much that the Greeks named them after river horses. However, they only spend their days in the water. By night, they are on land grazing for up to 6 hours at a time.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Next freaky fun fact. There are only one wild herd famous outside of Africa.
This is what you alluded to earlier.
Yes. So the famous drug cartel member, Pablo Escobar, they have all kinds of stuff entangled with him, including Escobar ran a private zoo for his daughter. Now, you want to hear some fun facts about that?
What, like all the animals he had in the zoo?
Yes, gosh. Yeah. Anything his daughter wanted, she got, including a pod of hippos.
You ever, I think I've talked about before, the Dr. Seuss book, If I Ran the Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine this is what this is like.
He even had a reward out there for a unicorn.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not joking.
I believe you.
Because his daughter really wanted one, and none of his men, basically, they knew if anybody told him the unicorns weren't real, that would not be good for their health.
Oh, okay. So they're out there looking.
Oh, yeah. No, there's people, I think it was like, I can't remember, it was $50 million or $60 million.
There's still people out there today looking.
Yeah. So during this time, Escobar ran a private zoo for his daughter, which featured hippopotamuses. After he left, however, they escaped into the wild and continued to thrive in Colombia. And they are now part of a herd of at least 80 individuals.
Wow.
They bred fast. Since the hippos are an invasive species, they could damage the river ecosystems and the native wildlife. They are now effects to help reduce their ability to reproduce, proving more humane ways to halt the growth of the herd. This is a big point of contention.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of people that are out there just saying, shoot them.
Just kill them.
Just kill them.
Okay.
Hippos are ecosystem pillars where they're from.
Okay.
The Amazon is not designed to handle a mammal that big. And there's no grasslands. It's really different than Africa.
Right. Majorly.
So they could really, really do a lot of damage. There's nothing that can even touch them in South America.
The giant ground sloths have to come back.
I mean, there's still probably a couple out there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if a giant ground sloth could wrestle a hippo out of the river.
That'd be worth watching, though.
I mean, that's like the same size animal.
Yeah, that'd be worth the watch.
So there's a lot of people that love their hippos, and there's a lot of people that say, leave the hippos alone. So there's even stuff like, I know they've suggested chemical castration, essentially.
Okay.
Or injecting them and sterilizing them. So once those hippos die of old age, the herd's not growing. There's only so much damage they can do. Right. And when they die of old age, it's over.
So, yeah.
That is probably the most humane thing. I always said catch them and send them to zoos. They were zoo animals originally.
True.
There's plenty of zoos that have hippos or would like more hippos and stuff like that. They're not supposed to be there. I don't think they should be killed for that. They didn't have a choice in that matter.
Right, yeah.
But they could be collected. I mean, it's not going to be an easy task.
It's like an allegory to modern war.
Yeah. It's not going to be an easy task to put 80 hippos in a cage.
No, it's not. Unless you're, remember that story out west of all the cows that ended up in that trailer? Or that, like,
yeah.
Yeah, Uinta Basin, yeah. Stuff, how many cows? I don't remember how many were stuffed.
4 bulls.
4 bulls in one tiny trailer.
Yeah.
Put them in there like that. We just need the extraterrestrial help.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what should happen to Escobar's hippos. But it's a huge piece of Colombian, like, I would even say folklore now, or, folk history.
Well, I mean, if they're reproducing...
Bad, like, a lot.
So, obviously, they must... The biome there supports them.
Yeah, at the detriment of everything else.
Okay.
So keep in mind, there's no grasslands. So their normal food source isn't there. So they're eating, like, I know the big lily floats.
Yeah.
Which is a huge biome in South America. Yeah. They're eating them to nothing. So where it would be like a choked out delta with these lily floats are gone. It's free flowing river.
We should get a couple of them, throw them in Indian Lake.
They would do well.
Keep the grasses down. Actually, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, not a bad idea, as it murders everybody that gets near that water.
Well, I mean, mind the hippos. Don't jet ski
if
near the
they weren't
hippos.
so violent.
Yeah. Maybe we could...
the pygmy hippos are violent, too. They're just a lot smaller.
Oh, really? They're just as violent?
I don't know if just as violent.
I mean, they're still aggressive.
They are very violent.
Yeah.
They're just not that big. That Wu Dang is that baby pygmy hippo in China.
Okay.
And it runs and tries to bite its keepers and, like, does the hippo run with the mouth open and everything.
Yeah.
It's just as, like, 10 pounds. So nothing happens.
Yeah. It's like a little puppy dog.
Hippos are victims of ivory poaching.
Yep.
They're a real big one. So when you think of ivory, you probably think of elephants and rhinos.
Yep.
Which rhinos technically don't even have ivory. However, the hippo is a victim of the crime. There's another reason besides habitat loss that they are endangered in most areas. While they do not have tusks or horns, the hippo's front teeth are made of ivory. Ivory is harder than an elephant's, making it more durable and more difficult to carve. The incisors can reach about 1 foot and 4 inches long, while the canines reach almost 2 foot.
That's crazy.
They're highly sought after. I know there was a lot of like piano keys used to be made with hippo ivory because it was a lot more durable than elephant ivory.
It's higher quality.
Yeah.
That would be nuts to have a hippo skull.
They have them.
Like that'd be cool.
A fake one.
Well, right.
Yeah, the replicas.
Well, shoot, having a real one would be awesome too.
I think they're banned in the U.S. I think pretty much the African Big Five.
Well, I was gonna say, what do they think? Oh, we just poached one here.
No, so you can go over and hunt hippos and stuff in these game preserves in Africa. You're not allowed to ship any of that stuff back.
Huh.
Because ivory is pretty much outlawed in every state unless you have historic proof. I think it's like if it's 100 or 150 years old or something like that.
Right.
So it's really hard to do any of that stuff for get a real one, even if it's humanely collected, a dead zoo animal.
It's like having a bald eagle feather.
Yeah, it's not. They don't have any proof where you got it from.
Right, exactly.
All right, they can eat around 35 kilograms of grass in a single night. Ever heard of the game Hungry Hungry Hippos? These guys eat tons of it.
Well, that's how they're so big.
They're not actually that fat, just so you know.
It's like a sumo wrestler.
Yeah. No, if you should look up the muscle diagrams of hippos.
Yeah.
They literally look like a beer barrel of muscle.
Muscle, yeah. I'm telling you, it's how sumo wrestlers are too.
So, next fun fact. Hippos can open their mouths almost 180 degrees.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You want to guess
frightening.
How much kilograms per square inch they can crush?
I'll throw a number out there, but it means nothing to me because I can't understand that. But I don't know, 4,000.
So that's a lion. A lion is 4,500.
Okay.
African hippo has been measured accurately at 12,600.
Wow.
About 3 times that of a lion.
Yeah.
And they got a lot bigger jaws. The hippo has a ferocious jaw force, unique mouth size, and sharp teeth. It can easily bisect a human in a single bite.
Wow.
These guys have been seen cutting crocodiles in half in a single bite as well.
That's some insane force.
Like I already told you, hippos can reach a top speed of well over 30 miles an hour. Nobody's measured that one too accurately because if a hippo's running at you, you're normally not standing very still.
I still think I can outrun him. I never clocked myself at 30, but if I was being chased by a hippo, I think I might just made it.
That'd probably be your best chance.
Yep. I'd believe it. I'd run that fast.
So predators are only a real threat to hippos when they are alone, if at all. Young hippos are really at threat to this when they are away grazing because they normally do it solitarily. So that first year or two after they leave their mom, they're big, but they're not.
They're still vulnerable.
Yeah, they're still vulnerable. So packs of lions, massive crocodiles or packs of hyenas are really the only thing that pose a threat to these guys.
Mm-hmm.
However, only when they're alone. If there's 1 or 2 of them, or 2 or 3 of them, there's probably nothing that's even going to get near them.
Right.
Because a single bite from a hippo is fatal.
Gosh. Yeah, that would be one of the least animals I'd want to be being pursued by or attacked by. Be a hippo.
Yeah, it's. I just seen this. That the average 6% or 10% of Americans think they could beat a grizzly bear in a fight. and like 8% think they could beat a hippo in a fight.
I think.
Did you see this? 4 high school wrestlers just got attacked by a grizzly bear and they lived.
Oh, geez, where?
I think it was Wyoming or Nebraska.
That's freaking
And they were out
scary.
shed hunting for elk antlers.
And they got attacked by a bear.
Yeah.
A grizzly?
Yeah, the first one, and it's because they all stayed together and they just kept fighting it.
Yeah.
And they're all like critically injured. But the bear finally left.
Wow. That is scary.
Pretty much whoever was in its mouth, the others were just punching it in the face and then its genitals.
Until it went to the next one.
And then it grabbed somebody else.
Yeah.
And they all kind of had to just protect your head. The one guy literally stuck his fist in its mouth so it wouldn't bite its neck because he was trying to bite its throat.
Yeah.
The bear was trying to bite his throat.
Right, yeah.
So he stuck his fist in there and let him chew on his fist.
Oh, that's scary. Yeah, graphic warning on this episode. Freaky Fauna Friday.
Well, hippos are more scary than that.
I guess so.
Next freaky fauna fact, hippos can't swim. Big misconception, hippos are good swimmers. They are not. Hippos run along the bottom. So oftentimes you'll see like river boaters and stuff will warn like tourists and stuff like when they're getting to hippo area and like, well, what makes the hippo stay here?
Right.
Well, it's shallow.
Right.
When it's 20, 30 foot deep, well, you don't got to worry about the hippos
Yeah.
because they can't jump up to breathe. So hippos run along the bottom. They can hold their breath for 5 to 10 minutes on average, but they have to jump up to breathe.
That's pretty funny.
So hippos can't swim.
I don't think I've ever seen a hippo jump. Like in the zoo underwater?
Yeah, I've seen them jump in the zoo when they go to the deep end because it's like twice as deep.
Yeah.
I think they can go up to like 20 feet down because their bike, keep in mind, they're like 15 or 18 feet long.
Right,
So if they stand up on their tippy toes, it's...
Still reach it.
Yeah, you can just jump a little bit. They weigh as much as a car. There was the largest, heaviest individual ever documented was 5,800 pounds.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
It took a truck scale to weigh him.
That's a big one.
He was in a zoo. Next fact, a hippo can live to be a senior citizen. Like I said, hippo's lifespan is between 40 and 50 years. However, the oldest living hippo on record died in captivity in 2017. Bertha was a resident of the Mayland Zoo in the Philippines. She, roughly at the age or the time of her death, was 65 years old.
Dang, that's an appropriate name for a hippo, though.
Bertha?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hippos can be traced back to around 52 million years ago. A total of 6 species of hippo are extinct, and 3 of them being subspecies of Malaysian hippopotamus. These species were much smaller than the modern-day hippo, and last of them disappeared in the past century. So we really had a bunch of hippos up until recently.
52 million years, that's a long time. They've been around.
They not a lot could mess with them even in the Ice Age.
It's a good body plan.
There are also 3 species of European hippo that have become extinct.
Okay.
Relatively recently, 40,000 years. Next one, hippos are muck spreaders. So this involves marking their territory with their feces.
I've seen this before.
They spin their tail around and fan their feces over a gray area.
Basically like a windshield wiper upside down, but at high speeds.
At high speed.
And it just, flings it everywhere.
Like I already told you, they can sleep underwater, and they just have a reflex that pushes them up to breathe.
Huh.
So they don't ever wake up when they're breathing.
That's pretty interesting.
The IUCN lists hippos as vulnerable. Hippos are thought to have a stable population estimated between 115,000 and 130,000 animals. Sadly, however, hippos are considered vulnerable due to the loss of access to fresh water and the heavy poaching that's going on with them.
Did they ever think about moving them to like South America or something to try to
They tried that.
establish a new population?
Yeah, they're on the down curve.
Oh, okay.
How do you want to hear how they poach them? That's all the facts I have for you. I could tell you some horrible stories about how they poach them.
They shoot them?
No, well, I mean eventually, but
Yeah.
no, they literally take one 4x4 square flat piece of wood, put 1 or 2 nails that are like 5 inches long through it, and leave it in the hippo trails.
So they step on them.
They step on them, and the hippo will just lift its leg.
Yeah.
Hippos they're too big. They can't move on 3 legs.
It's like what other animals like that?
There's a bunch of animals. Horses.
Horses, yep, they do it.
Pretty much anything, I'm going to say over like 500 pounds.
Megafauna?
Yeah, megafauna. I mean, that's the weight, right there. Anything over that 500 pounds really can't do it. I seen an elephant do it one time, but she still had kind of like a stump, and she would kind of hobble. Elephants are a lot smarter than a lot of these other animals, though, and it still took her a long time in captivity to even learn how to do it. She has a prosthetic now.
Yeah.
But for these big guys, pretty much they just stand still. They can't turn, they can't move.
Yeah.
So they'll put them. Hippos all leave one spot when they go out to graze. So put a bunch of these boards in that trail, in the day when they're safe, and then wait for them to come back at night. And then the next morning they go out and shoot them all.
Yep. They'll just be standing there.
50, 60 hippos in one night.
That's crazy.
They're one of the easiest animals to poach because of that.
Yeah.
As far as the big animals.
Little tricks, tips and tricks.
Rhinos are pretty much blind, but they can smell incredibly
really well.
Yeah. And they're I guess they're easier to find on land because they're huge, but they're oftentimes more protected because there's a lot less of them.
True.
And then elephants are huge.
Yeah, they're just behemoths.
And they fight back.
Aggressively.
Yeah.
Not much stopping them.
No, but they still shoot them in the head.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And they drop.
Yeah, humans are the worst, so.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you should look up. I've showed you the pictures or the videos of the gorilla, like the guy that protects the gorillas or the rhinos.
Probably.
There's I think it was the last Western black rhino in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 6 guards for him. Last male. And that's all they do all day.
Is just watch him.
They follow him.
Yeah.
They stand like on top of him and stuff like that. And they're armed with ARs and everything like that.
Bodyguards.
And they were interviewing him and they were asking, well, is it just to intimidate poachers or whatever? And he just kind of didn't understand. He's like, no, if you come up to this rhino and we don't know you're supposed to come up here, you will never leave this field.
Yeah.
There are people over there. Last night somebody tried to get close to the rhino.
They're still over there.
Yeah, this is what I do. This is talking about this is my life. This is what I do.
Right, yeah.
As long as I'm alive, nobody's going to hurt this rhino.
Who pays him for that? Interesting.
Just likes rhinos. And then there's the gorilla guy that does the same thing. Where it's like the gorillas are my family.
Right, yeah, he's going to protect them. Huh, some people.
So here you go, hippos, the most dangerous African animal, most dangerous land animal on the planet.
Good to know. Watch out for hippos.
Polar bears probably could be up there too if they had more overlap with people.
Right, that's right. Definitely the big thing holding that back.
A big thing in Africa is that you need water.
Right.
Anywhere you need water. Humans need water.
Kind of important.
So humans have to go to the rivers.
Where water is.
And where these incredibly violent murder pigs live.
Under it.
Yeah,
not good. Not good.
It always makes me laugh because I think of the Beverly Hillbillies.
What about it?
When, the daughter, I just forgot her name. She would go to the zoo and they had so much money she'd buy whatever pet she wanted that week. She brought a hippo home one time.
And a fully grown one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Granny thought it was the biggest pig she'd ever seen in her life.
Yeah.
And they come back, Ellie Mae. When they come back out, it has the old chalk lines.
Drawn out on it.
The cuts of meat on this pig.
She had it sectioned out.
Yeah. And she's getting ready to butcher this hippo.
I would have liked to see how that went.
Granny probably would have done it.
She probably would have. They were built different back then.
Just remember, if hippos, this is like a Jurassic Park thing. That, they go up to the brontosaurus at the beginning and they're like, herbivores are peaceful and everything like that.
Yeah, that's not true.
If they follow any modern animals, I'm more scared generally of herbivores than I am of carnivores. Generally speaking.
Right, yeah, they're more panicky.
They're panicky, they're bigger, and they'll just crush you.
Yeah.
Carnivores think.
Right, yeah, they're calculated out.
They're going to decide. They're going to decide. All right, I've been the great and peaceful Mr. E.
And I've been Jay.
Catch you next week, guys.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday.
All right.
If you want to help the podcast grow,
let me go.
Remember to share and give it a 5-star review.
Oh, is that
the dryer?
Super loud. 10:33.